Very good morning. Much thanks for joining us here on the program. This is the Morning Drift. And good morning. Do let us know you're watching as from. This is Morning Drift. We've got you covered on what's happening today, what's trending, as well as what you can expect from the calendar of our newsroom. I am Nelima, and I'm not here alone.
My name is Simba Elijah Charles Kiage. Thank you very much for making time to start your Monday with us right here on the Morning Drift. Remember, the hashtag is the Morning Drift. I am at Kiage Simba on Twitter, Nancy.
Why do I always keep forgetting that? And I'm at Nelima Nancy on Twitter.
As it is.
Yeah,
anyway,
and it is,
yes.
Simba, it is the last day.
Actually,
of the
31st,
month.
isn't it? The year is done, Nelima.
Right now it's all black everything. All Black Fridays.
Yeah,
So
all the way up to the end of the year.
this is the time to shop.
Yeah, you think so? You believe in those things?
This is the time to shop. Everything is on offer. Up to 40%.
Is it offer in quotes or just the right offer? You know, they say offer.
Hopefully.
Yeah, they say 40% offer, still the same price.
True.
Anyway, it's a Monday. There's just a lot of things that we've been looking at today. But Nelima, let's start like this. Now, I want to read you this so you see exactly what we're talking about. Two things that I'm going to tell you right now. Now, this is somebody who said they stole my laptop last night and they sent me an email using my email. I have mixed emotions right now. So this is the thief who wrote the email to the guy that he stole the laptop from. Bro, how is it? I know I stole your laptop yesterday. I needed the money as I've been struggling to make ends meet. I see that you're busy with a research proposal. I've attached it. And if there are any other files that you need, please alert me before 12 midday since I found a customer. Once again, I'm so sorry, bro.
Wow.
So
That's what's really happening now.
as in they used this to send him an email telling him, bruh, like I was just struggling to make ends meet, but I've sent you your research proposal. Here it is. And if you need any file, please send it back.
So the thief knows that a research paper is important.
That's it. It's quite important. We can't just sell it with this. All right? Anyway.
And in these funny times we're living in.
And then he's on the side. Nairobi Governor Johnson Sakaja also cleared a 10,900 shillings fee of comedian KK Mwenyewe, widely known for his sport on Rigathi Gachagua mimicry. That's actually an update from Lookuptv. If you want to read that story, you can go all the way to lookuptv.co.ke. He had complained that he was struggling to pay his school fee, and his university had told them by Friday, if you do not clear, then you will be deregistered from this semester.
And of course, he's a comedian that is really growing into many Kenyans.
Yeah.
And is a true depiction of our Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, who is much of a celebrity right now because of, how he carries himself, what he does. And so this guy has been able to depict the true picture of our Deputy President. And many people even saying the Deputy President needs to give him a job in his office. So I don't know if the Deputy President, Rigathi Gachagua, has acknowledged the efforts of this man, and just, of course, in the comedy industry as well.
Yeah. But anyway, Nancy, even we're talking about whatever's going on in the country right now, we don't know where the country is in as much as the drought situation is concerned. But do you know that a couple of places have experienced rain periods this weekend? I can confirm that indeed in Moyale sub-county it rained heavily again over the weekend. Now, they were complaining about lacking water. Now they're complaining about the floods that have occurred in the area. Meru as well, it rained heavily as well over this weekend. So we can actually get to see where we are in as much as this drought situation is concerned. So you cry of lack of water, you get too much, and then you start crying of the floods. Anyway, that's some of the things that you're waking up to this morning. We take a tiny breather right here on the Morning Drift. Once we come back, let's talk about what it is that you're waking up to in your dailies. involved at Lookuptv across all your social media platforms. I'm at Kiage Simba. I'm not alone. Nancy Nelima is right here with us. Nancy, where you at?
And I'm at Nelima Nancy. And of course, the hashtag is Morning Drift. And right about now, let's take a look at what's happening in our dailies. This is what you can expect on your copy of the Standard this morning. And unions oppose Ruto's plan to hit salaried staff. Now, Simba, this is a growing conversation, and this is one of the President, William Ruto, one of his ways to continue to raise revenue. And of course, this is by taxing the salaried people in the country. And as it stands right now, people who earn 50,000 shillings are taxed 8,683.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, I know.
That's
but in the
money.
estimated deductions, with the proposed NSSF and NHIF rates, then that will go up to 10,500. And you see, it goes likewise. The higher you go, they say the cooler it becomes. So the more money you get, the more taxation for you. So for people who earn 100,000, they're taxed about 24,000, but that will increase all the way to 28,000. So there are different unions. And you know, Simba, this is more business-like. So we're expecting maybe a lot from your desk today. Just to see how these changes are going to affect people directly. And remember, it is a time that many Kenyans are complaining of the high cost of living. So then what to do? They're just unable to take care of the basic needs as it is right now. So when they're going to be taxed even more without their income increasing, then that's going to be a problem.
This is what I would expect, Nelima. Even as you announce that, you say, well, inflation is at 9.2% currently. Right. So we've adjusted your pay scales, maybe by around 5,000, 10,000 shillings, so that we are able then to get this money out of that paycheck. You just can't come and tell me, well, your salary remains the same. We've not adjusted it, but we're going to tax it further. You see, that's the thing that we're complaining about.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
The punitive life that people are talking about.
That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
So that story comes to you on the page 4 and 5 of the Standard this morning. As well, there is a story here, Simba, about the jitters in Mount Kenya over the future of Azimio Coalition. As you know, the Azimio Coalition is now in the opposition, and there are very many leaders in the Mount Kenya region, like Kanini Kega, Charles Kibero, Jeremiah Kioni, who supported Azimio la Umoja candidate Raila Odinga. And of course, they failed. And since then, what their future is like, that's what they're concerned about. What will the party, what will the coalition now do, now that they are out in the political cold? That comes to you on page 10 of the Standard. And Simba as well, CBC review team, it begins its week, the task force begins its week, its work this week. And remember, they're moving across different counties. And one thing that had been said to be lacking was public participation. And so the task force is going to move across different counties, just talking to parents, teachers and different stakeholders, just to understand how the CBC is, what they can improve on. And so once the public participation is done, then they can be able to give a more detailed report.
And talk about that, isn't it? Now, on the Daily Nation, the really also headlines what's going on in the political arena in the country right now. And on page 4 and 5, they're calling it out in the cold, top Ruto loyalists wait for state jobs. And they've really outlined them right there with Ndidi Nyoro also among those pictures they're going to read into. So I want to go more into that story, pages 4 and 5. And then the main headline here is acid test for Raila. That's exactly what it is that you're talking about around that particular area. Now, they're saying November 9th will mark 90 days after the August 9th general election, allowing any of the 26 Azimio affiliate parties to kickstart the process of parting ways. So we will see exactly what happens on November 26th, whether indeed the majority of those party affiliates within the Azimio coalition then would exit, as exactly what they're headlining there. And on pages 2 as well, talking about how doctors found a bullet lodged in the chest of the Pakistani journalist, and they're saying that the pathologist conducting a second post-mortem on the Pakistani journalist who was killed in Kenya last week found a bullet lodged in his chest. That is according to the Daily Nation. Right. And that's exactly how it looks right here in the Daily Nation. Pretty much also we want to read into those stories on exactly how the Azimio coalition is also facing that acid test after the 90 days giving the party's law or the party's act. Then you can read that story in 2 pages 7.
Simba,
anything more of importance again?
In line with that, Simba, the Azimio One Kenya leader, Raila Odinga, has said that in the coming days, he is going to make a very big public announcement. So we'll be looking forward. Perhaps it could be about the parties or the future of the Azimio coalition. Remember, it is the official opposition.
Yeah.
And he did say that he will continue in his quest just to make sure that the democracy and the rule of law is followed in the country. So that is something that we'll be following up here on Lookuptv. I'll be able to let you know what is happening.
As it is. By the way, for all those Kenyans who went to Oktoberfest, Nelima, were you there?
I was not, though I have heard stories.
Yeah?
Yeah.
About the insecurity levels?
Insecurity levels at the Oktoberfest.
Yeah, with Kenya saying that the party organizers then did not invest so much into the security of the event. A lot of Kenyans lost their phones, apparently. A lot of Kenyans were roughed up. I don't know, I'll talk to... I know who was there. Maybe they will come in and confirm. Maybe on Friday, we'll be talking about what has been trending this week.
Right.
Anyway, we take a short breather right here on the Morning Drift. Once we come back again then, we'll be looking straight into what has been trending this weekend. Once we come back.
And welcome back. This is the Morning Drift. And of course, we're here just to bring you up to speed with what's happening around you. Let's take a look now at what's trending across our social media platforms and on Twitter. Simba, what we talked about, the Oktoberfest. There's still some of the things that are trending. Nyashinsky is trending. He was one of the performers at the Oktoberfest. And of course, a lot of conversation right there streaming in about just the level of insecurity that was right there. And just to sample one of the tweets here, Simba, someone says, they actually took my phone away from me as I was watching. Yeah. So just some of the things that appear, that
I like
happened.
the choice of language they took.
Right. So, of course, there's a lot of people just talking about the high levels of insecurity that happened, and people saying that they made a sacrifice just to go to the Oktoberfest, and it's sad that the event organizers did not put that into consideration.
Yeah, I will tell you a lot of stories that came up from Ngong Race Course, with some Kenyans saying, "Mimi nimewachana na mambo ya Ngong Race Course for life." Go to have a good time, and then after that you come out cussing. Anyway, that's how it was. Now, Nelima, there's this one that we got to talk about as well. KMTC is trending. And this is why it's trending. There's this particular tweet here from David Osiani.
Right.
He's saying, I'm in agreement about the accreditation and acknowledgement. Yeah, there it is. Let me start over again. I'm in agreement about the accreditation and acknowledgement of KMTC's higher national diploma as a degree equivalent. The next one should be the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, KIMC. The quality of graduates from both schools is incredibly great. Wow. As a KIMC graduate, let me first say, yeah, I do agree with you. Thank you very much. And that one, Nelima, where are you as that is concerned? Because that means that then somebody can get a degree in 3 years. Does that make it a degree, or it makes it something different?
Yeah, I know KMTC has come under so much fire. Yeah. And people just wondering how someone can take that short of a time and then be equivalent to someone who's actually done a degree course. So how really, does it end up being like that? And Omamba says, someone kindly tell KMTC nurses they're not doctors. So, of course, this is a growing conversation. People just wondering that the higher national diploma course of KMTC, it takes at least 18 months and can be equivalent to a bachelor's degree, taking 4 years minus internship. So that is a concern. So the KMTC, I get to respond now because these have been attacks that have been there since yesterday, Simba. And just to read a tweet from David Osiani, he says, I'm in agreement about the accreditation and acknowledgement of KMTC's higher national diploma as a degree equivalent. The next one should be Kenya Institute of Mass Communication.
That's it.
The quality of graduates from both schools is incredibly great. So, but Simba, you know, then we'd have to involve the Ministry of Education and just check even the curriculum as well.
I will tell you though, that just for me, that will mean that I go back and claim my second degree then from Kenya Institute of Mass Communication. Immediately they do that. But then I know the Ministry of Education will be involved and will review the curriculum and all that. But then when it comes to the quality of education, I mean, Nelima, the degree should be the period that you take, isn't it? Should be how practical the lessons are, the quality of education. If we're in agreement that KIMC and KMTC then give proper quality education when it comes to the higher diplomas, then why not? Let's make them degrees. Is that not what we're fighting for? To have degrees?
Simba, but what you have to agree as well is that there's a reason the universities come up with a curriculum, and they say that for you to complete a communication course, for instance, like the degree that I have, is that for the first year, you have to do, say, general courses, the basic courses. Then you go to the 200 level courses, where now you're introduced into communication. 300 level courses, they started being more advanced, and the 400 level courses, which are now the more practicals, camera work, presentation skills, and so forth. So then this curriculum is up to 4 years. So when someone can do the same in just 1.5 years, would you say the quality is the same?
But the thing I do not agree with university education is all those courses that we do, Nelima, creative and common thinking, entrepreneurship and all that. Do you think they add so much into that particular degree? Because once you graduate outside here, it is what skills do you have? If you have these institutions and giving you the right skills for the market, why not just award a degree?
Right, and I understand even just the curriculum in general, the 844, which is most people in university went through, is that the concern is then there's a lot of theory and less practical. And the world that we get into as soon as we get done with school, then the skills, so the practicals are what's most required. And Simba, I think this is a good conversation that we should be having in studio, and we can invite the education specialists just to understand what goes on into making a curriculum.
That's it. I'll tell you though. Just before we cross over to the next trend, Gachagua has been trending. He said a lot of things this weekend, and there's been a lot happening around him. When you have university, because I remember when I was at the Kenya Institute of Mass Communication, there are some universities, case in point, JKUAT and Nairobi University, who used to come and take lessons from KMC. So you wonder then, if universities are coming to your college so they can teach the students practical skills, why then not award those students who are in that particular college the university degrees? What is the difference? What is lacking in this education in colleges? But anyway, I'll just leave it there for now. Now, let's move on to Gachagua. He has been trending, and there are two reasons as to why he's trending. Nelima, number one, he did say that they do not need Raila Amolo Odinga in their government. That there's nothing for him there. They do not want him to meddle with the way they're running the government. That is the first one. The second one, as far as trending, is his case. Now, this is what the DPP then did say about this particular case. He did an interview with a local media house, and they're saying on DPP's Gachagua's charges, the decision was made on the threshold. We were pushed by the DCI himself through the media. We felt there was sufficient evidence to charge, but later we discovered the documents were forged. That is Nordin Haji on 30th October 2022. Nelima, what do you think about that?
Simba, and you know that has been a a conversation that has been trending and for weeks now. Now that DP Gashagua's charges, there were accusations from the DPP and of course the officers just saying that they were pressured into raiding Gashagua's home and just taking him in and putting the graft allegations as well on him. But you know, also the DPP has come under a lot of fire because he has then dropped so many cases that people thought, then why then were they prosecuted if there was no sufficient evidence as well? So this is actually what we'll be looking into at length this week in our newsroom calendar, just to see what goes on in the DP Gashagua's graft case.
Interesting, really. All right, I know we do have a couple of seconds left. Can we look at the last one? If you can actually put it on the screen. I just lost where it was on my particular tab. Yeah, yes, there it is. Now, the highest elected office, according to, this is according to Hamed Nasir. Now listen, the highest elected office Hon Rigathi has ever held is Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. Right. The highest elected office Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga has held is Member of Parliament for Langata. Obviously, DP Gachagua is Hon Raila Senior. Do you agree, Nelima?
I don't even know. I don't know how that sounds.
Me too. I don't know how it sounds. Listen, the elected, if you're using, well, but you can't talk on that basis. Let's just go by the titles. He's been a prime minister. Well, Rigathi Gachagua hasn't been a prime minister. If you want to go in that direction, I would say. But for me, interesting, really. So some of the reactions that we've seen from majority of Kenyans in as regards what Gachagua was talking about yesterday, like who needs to respect who? That's how it is.
Yeah. But of course, you know, then there is the part that the opposition has to play. And it is, it makes a healthy government when the opposition puts the government on its, you know, on its toes.
I'll tell you.
So then we'll be looking just to see what the Right Honorable Raila Odinga will be saying in the coming days.
Yep.
But at this point, we have to take another very short break. But Simba will be coming up with all the trending stories of the day.
How's that?
Hapa kazi tu inaendelea kuwasaka na kuwatambua wale ambao wanafanya kazi extraordinary na zile kazi za kujituma.
Biashara yote unaambiangwa, as long as you have a plan, you can do it. Our service is about to pressure the customer.
Mpenzi mtazamaji, hii ni hapa kazi tu.
Yippee! Kamata floating at 349K. Oh yes, for only 349,000 Kenyan shillings, you become a plot owner at the Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki. The Great Oasis Gardens, Nanyuki is located along the Nanyuki-Rumuruti Road, only 11 minutes from the Cedar Mall and right opposite Mount Kenya Wildlife Estate. This is the best place to establish the getaway home that you have always dreamt about. For every 349,000 that you deposit or pay as installment towards any of Optiven's plot of land, you get 10K cash back instantly. Jaza basi twende Nanyuki. Bigger is indeed better.
Good to have you join us on Heart to Heart.
We bring you stories of people who, despite the pressures they experienced, still trusted God to see them through.
The seeds that was sown in me helped me navigate and overcome that period of my life.
New testimonies, new insights, and even better revelation of the good things God has in store for us.
There is always a blessing waiting for someone in every episode.
Born a man, the society bestows tough responsibilities upon you.
Lazima uwe mtu wa bidii
ukija kuwa lazima uwe ni provider.
If you're not able to provide, that's a challenge. It takes a toll on a man.
It takes someone who is strong enough to face it.
This is Born a Man.
For all your football, F1 and World Cup kits, Carrington Sportswear Hub is your plug for quality, sporty merchandise. Call us on 0703 484 481.
Welcome back to the Morning Drift. My name is Simba Kiage. Thank you very much for being a part and parcel of this broadcast this morning. Now remember, you can also join us live on our social media platforms. That is at Lookuptv across all of them. I am at Kiage Simba. We can already see some of your comments coming in. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Now, let's cross over to the newsroom so that we can see some of the stories that you are waking up to. Now, young people flocking to Seoul's popular Itaewon district on a Saturday for the first unrestricted Halloween festivities in 3 years instead of found themselves caught up in a deadly crash that killed at least 153 people. Now, concerned relatives raced to hospitals in search of their loved ones on Sunday as South Korea mourned the deaths, mostly in their 20s and 30s, who got trapped and crushed after the huge crowd surged into a narrow alley. Witnesses said the crowd surge in the Itaewon area on a Saturday night caused, and I quote, a hell-like chaos as people fell on each other. Halloween is a holiday celebrated each year on October 31st. Its origin dates back to the ancient Celtic festival of Samhain. Now, this day marked the end of summer and the harvest and the beginning of the dark, cold winter, a time of the year that was often associated with human death. Now, into another accident story now. 3 people, including 11-year-old boy, were killed in a grisly road accident that occurred along the eastern bypass at Kamakis in Ruai. According to the eyewitnesses' accounts, the drunk driver named Cosmas Mutembe was speeding, leading to the loss of control that swept a tuk-tuk that had carried the 3 passengers. The deceased have been overtaken to Kenyatta University Funeral Home as the driver faces the police.
Kill these 6 people! Killing 6 people!
On Sunday morning, this online video of Cosmas Mutembe surfaced online. Mutembe found himself in the wrong side of his driving skills, causing an uproar upon the death of 3 people, with him surviving.
Have you ever seen a dead person?
The eyewitness in the area who spoke before the media stated that the vehicle Toyota Prado was driven too fast at around 6:30 in the morning before losing control, hitting a tuk-tuk and a Nissan. They say that the driver was drunk.
Have you ever seen a dead person, Bana?
The passengers that were carried by the tuk-tuk died on the spot, with the efforts to save them rain dry. The bodies of the deceased, that included an 11-year-old, a lady of 43 and a 29-year-old man, have been preserved at the Kenyatta University and Referral Hospital as the injured who are in the Nissan rushed to Kenyatta University Hospital. Mutembe, who is the main cause of the accident, is in police custody, and as Ruiru Commander of Police Cecilia Kemboi affirms, he received an alcohol blood test to determine if indeed he drank and drove. In addition, Kemboi has stated that the area has witnessed rampant cases of road accidents, more so the one in Kamakis at the eastern bypass. Elsewhere, the same case has been witnessed in Kajiado County, where 2 people have died on the spot at roadblock area, Namanga Road, as the vehicle they were traveling in was involved in an accident this Sunday afternoon.
Kasikia mlio wa gari, tukakuta gari ameshaanguka, watu wameanguka hapo chini. Kulikuwa kuna watu 4, 2 kama mmoja amekufa tu hapa, 2 wameumia sana, wakachukuliwa akapeleka hospitali.
Kama barabara ikiangaliwa, serikali aangalie na aweke makakati wa sheria. Kama ng'ombe ikiwekwa kwa barabara ikiguzwa, basi sasa mwenye aliweka ndio atakuwa na hatia. Kitu kama hiyo ingetusaidia kusema ukweli.
Ile kitu tunaweza kuomba serikali yetu, kama wanaweza tusaidia, waweze tuwekea bumps ili ajali tuweze kuipungua. Juu kama wakati wa kiangazi wanyama wamekuwa wengi, wanatokelezea barabarani, na unakuja unapata accident inatokelezea.
The National Transport and Safety Authority NTSA has so far confirmed 3,541 fatalities and 7,236 injuries in less than 9 months. With the rising number of road accidents in the country, the Kenya National Highways Authority (KENHA) has been advised to renovate the roads as motorists to take precautions while driving. Moses Okech, Lookuptv.
A business person in a Kituneni village, Kangundo area of Machakos County, known as Moses Wambua, has been killed by unknown persons in his home. According to the villagers, the victim was on Sunday morning found dead in his own house with a deep cut on his head with his door wide open. Shadrach Kareria reports.
Residents of Kituneni village in Machakos County woke up to the shocking news of the alleged murder of a businessman by the name Moses Wambua on Sunday morning. According to the victim's sister, the deceased arrived at home on a boda as usual and entered his home, only to be found dead with his door wide open.
Brother wangu ni mtu wa biashara wa kuchinja ng'ombe huko butcher. Nilikuja usiku na boda bike, kaingia kwa nyumba akalala. Nilikuta mlango ulikuwa wazi, mapema nikiamka nikikuta kifungio, nikianza kufungia nilikuta mlango ulikuwa wazi. Brother wangu akaniita, akaniambia kuja uangalie. Nikakimbia, nikaangalia.
While confirming the incident, the area assistant chief Francis Motuko stated that the body of the deceased had a deep cut on the head and there was a lot of blood at the scene, showing that he might have been murdered by the unknown person.
Nilipigiwa simu na nika-inform askari na tukakuja kwa scene. Papo mwili yenyewe ilikuwa imelala chini na mtu mwenyewe alikuwa ameuliwa. Alikuwa na majeraha kichwani, alikuwa amelala chini ambapo damu ilikuwa imetiririka mpaka kwa mwili.
Kwanza asubuhi niliamka nikasikia watu wakiongea juu ya Nzioka. Ati nikapa amefikwa na ako kwa nyumba. Ndio nikaoga na nikakuja.
Villagers have now called on the police to speed up the investigation to nab those who are involved.
Serikali ifanye uchunguzi ili waone vile mtu anafanyika.
The lifeless body of Wambua was ferried to Kagundo Hospital mortuary. Shadrach Kareria, Lookuptv.
President William Ruto has insisted on the importance of sensitizing the public on the saving culture in a bid to cushion the future generation, while hinting at making reforms on the CDF kitty to help finance women and the youth in a business. Ian Ketani files the following story.
Speaking during a church service in Kenol Kandara constituency, President William Ruto has emphasized the importance of inculcating the culture of saving among Kenyans, even as plans to roll out the Hustlers Fund are underway.
Ile platform tunaleta ya Hustler Fund itakuwa na mambo matatu ya muhimu. Ya kwanza, itakupatia mkopo kwa riba ya chini, less than 10% per year. Number 2, itakupatia nafasi ya kufanya saving. Wakati unafanya biashara, pia unaweka akiba. Na jambo la tatu, ukiweka akiba serikali ya Kenya ukiweka shilingi 2, serikali ya Kenya inakupatia shilingi 1. Wale ambao wanafanya biashara hiyo, hasa wale ambao hawana ajira.
The president further explained the importance of environmental conservation, with millions of trees set to be planted countrywide, an initiative that will benefit thousands of youth across the country. He also indicated that through tree planting, his administration seeks to construct at least 100 dams in the country. With the government launching affordable houses in Nairobi and Kajiado counties, Ruto assured Murang'a residents of the same initiative, with hundreds of area residents set to benefit.
Njia ya kupanga ajira ya hawa vijana pia ni kupanga mpango wa affordable housing. Kwa sababu pale kwa affordable housing tuko na nafasi ya ajira ya vijana wetu. Wiki ijayo ambayo inaanza kesho, Monday. Wiki ijayo program hiyo mumeona nilianzisha kule Nairobi. Wiki ijayo tunatangaza nyumba za kwanza 2,000 hapa Murang'a. Hapa Kenol Town tunataka kuanza na nyumba 300. Pale Makenji tunataka kuwa na nyumba 1,700.
On his part, Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua castigated Azimio la Umoja's Raila Odinga, insisting that their administration had no plans to incorporate him into government, while thanking the president for appointing various leaders from the region into his cabinet.
Hiyo mzee akisema that he will not be coerced or intimidated to joining our government. Wewe mzee sikia, we have no business within our government. Hatuna haja na hatugojei wewe, we are not looking for you and we have no time. The last time uliingia serikali ya Uhuru Kenyatta aliharibu wako haribu. Mungetaka akaribie serikali yetu? Mungetaka akaribie?
Ian Keitani, Lookuptv.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC is set to conduct by-elections in Kandara, Garissa Township and Elgeyo Marakwet on the 5th of January. In a Gazette notice, the Commission chairperson, Wafula Chebukati, called on political parties intending to participate in the election to submit the names of the persons contesting in the party primaries on the date before November 14th.
The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission IEBC on Sunday gave a schedule for the by-elections in Kandara constituency, Garissa Township and Elgeyo Marakwet County. The seats fell vacant after the previous occupants were nominated and later approved for cabinet positions. The Gazette notice reads, following declaration of vacancies that occurred in the office of members of National Assembly for Kandara and Garissa Township constituencies, member of Senate for Elgeyo Marakwet County and member for Shila Ward, Lamu County Assembly, as confirmed by the respective speakers via letters dated 27th October 2022 for parliamentary elections and 24th October 2022 for the county assembly election, there shall be by-elections for the members of the National Assembly for Kandara and Garissa Township constituencies, member of the Senate for Elgeyo Marakwet County, and member for Shila Ward in Lamu County. End of quote. Alice Wahome held the Kandara's MP seat before her appointment as Cabinet Secretary for Water and Sanitation. Garissa Township MP Eden Duale is now CS Defense. Elgeyo Marakwet Senator Kipchumba Murkomen now heads the Ministry of Transport and Public Works. The CSS were sworn in on Thursday and resumed their respective duties in the ministries. In Elgeyo Marakwet, the race to replace Murkomen has already attracted two prominent aspirants, activist Jeroti Sei and real estate developer Tim Kipchumba. Sei is a vocal human rights defender and was part of the Linda Katiba movement. Kipchumba is a solar and real estate developer. Chebukati says political parties intending to participate in the by-elections have been called upon to submit names of their persons contesting in party primaries before November 14th, 2022. Chebukati further said public officers intending to contest to resign from public office within 7 days of the declaration of the vacancy by the Speaker. The campaign period will start after the nomination of the candidates on the 5th of December and cease on the 2nd of January, 48 hours before the by-election day. The campaign time shall run from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. during the campaign period. This has been noted by the Electoral Commission. Political parties are also expected to conduct the primaries and resolve any disputes arising from the process by the 30th of November. Those intending to participate as independent candidates are to submit their names and symbols by the 14th of November. According to IEBC, another by-election coming before the January 5th is the Bungoma Senate race, which will take place on December 8th. The Bungoma Senate seat fell vacant after Moses Wetangula became the Speaker of the National Assembly. The race has so far attracted more than 15 aspirants, including Wetangula's aide Wafula Wakoli, businessman Joseph Lindrix Waswa and Jacob Machacha, Reverend Herman Kasili, lawyer Eric Nahurenya, and former Bumula Member of Parliament Mwambu Mabonga, and latest entrant Wafula Wamunyinyi, among others. The electoral body also gazetted the same date for the by-election in Olol Masani, Kiome Thaana, Utawala, Mumias North and South Game, wards in Narok, Kitui, Nairobi, Kakamega, and Siaya County Assemblies. The electoral body postponed elections in the regions after some of the aspirants for the seats died before the August elections. Brian Amuai, Lookuptv, Nairobi.
The National Environment Management Authority, NEMA, Bungoma chapter has conducted a thorough search in various sectors in Bungoma County to assess the legality of the operations of those sectors and check if they comply with the environmental laws in the country. NEMA has warned businesses and business people who fail to comply with the environmental law to be in risk of 2 years term imprisonment or a fine of 2 million shillings. Susan Jerry reports.
Speaking after the search exercise, the director of NEMA Bungoma County, Vincent Mahiva, has indicated that they have taken the full responsibility after discovering that some businesses are being run in the region flaunting the NEMA guidelines.
Tumeweza kupata wale ambao wana leseni zetu. Kuna leseni za ujenzi, leseni za majitaka, yani effluent discharge licenses, na leseni za mambo scrap metal licensing. So wale ambao tumeweza kupata hawakuwa wametimiza vile sheria inatakikana, tumeweza kuwapatia several orders ambazo tunatarajia wataweza kutimiza in the shortest time possible.
Mahiva has mentioned that the use of nylon papers by residents in Bungoma County has decreased immensely, and now only 5% of the people who use the papers source them from the neighboring country of Uganda. However, he has praised Bungoma County for what he terms as responsibility in waste and garbage collection.
Uganda wajapiga marufuku utumizi wa hizi karatasi. So unapata kuna zile ambazo zinatokea upande wa Uganda na wafanyabiashara wetu hapa Kenya wanaweza kuzinunua na wanazidi kuzitumia, especially mama mbogas.
Mahiva has nevertheless given business persons a red alert on failure to comply with NEMA's terms and regulations, noting that they will be in a risk of a high penalty.
Orders umepeana wale ambazo hawataweza kutimiza, naweza kuambia the penalty is very high. We are talking of a penalty of over 2 million shillings ama kifungo ya miaka 2 gerezani. So tungewahimiza wale ambao tumeweza kuwapatia orders zetu waweze kutimiza.
Susan Jerry, Lookuptv.
American YouTube star Jake Paul turned boxer. Jake Paul knocked down UFC legend Anderson Silva on points to remain undefeated in a 6-fight boxing career. Earlier yesterday, Jake Paul turned lethal against the Brazilian to secure victory in the last of the 8 rounds in a score of 77-74, 78-73 and 78-73 in a match that attracted 14,000 fans, played at the Desert Diamond Arena in Phoenix, Arizona, USA.